It was Jay. I was doing that thing where I was sitting on the couch just trying to I was sipping my coffee at home, and I was just trying to respond to some of the comments and questions on our YouTube channel. And,
you're the one who does that. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I was always wondering.
Like heart.
Yeah.
Like heart.
Yeah.
And you get the occasional one where you're like, oh, I'm gonna try to say something here because this person is actually trying to engage with the channel in a really interesting way. And I started to write a sentence, and I'm like, I can't actually answer this quickly. So I just responded, I think we're gonna make a video about this.
Right.
And the question the person asked is, knowing everything you know today, everything, as an old, wise person doing this hobby, for those of you that are new watching this channel for the first time, both been in this industry roughly 20 years, and knowing everything that we know now, would we open a hobby store again? And I guess we could even shift that question to, would we open a hobby store now? So those are kind of two different questions, I guess, but so the real question is, for those would you looper yourself, go back in time and shoot yourself or whatever, and stop yourself from doing this, making this horrible mistake?
Yeah. It
really stumped me.
Very difficult
to
answer. I think the answer will be a crappy, ranty, whatever you want to call it, makes no sense thing. But
what's your
my gut reaction? My gut reaction is I can't even do that because I'm on one hand I'm it's easy to say no, because it's actually easy to say no, I wouldn't do it again because of all the things I know, and you can kind of but it's also easy to be rosy and be well, I guess I could have just done a different career, and maybe that would have been more linear. You just kind of I would have probably kept my IT career and just kind of worked that, and I don't know if I would be less happy. I'd probably be less happy. I'd probably definitively say that overall, because I'd probably be working more, but I'd probably make more money.
Yep.
So, I don't know. It's yeah. I think it would be easy to say no. But on the other hand, it's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of twists and turns, way more volatility and unknowns and challenges. That's just opening any business of your own. It doesn't have to be a hobby store. So I think that's a very almost impossible to answer just straight up would I do it again or not. And I think the reason also, I think it'd be even easier if we failed, obviously, but I think we, especially post-COVID, have felt the fruits of the labor and all that stuff, combined with that luck factor and a bit of the hobby boom. A lot of things have combined. You could argue without the pandemic that maybe the hobby boom isn't as big, and maybe it would, again, I would be easier to say, yeah, no, this was kind of not. The one thing I'll say is I would never say that it was a waste of time.
Yeah, that's my first.
It was never a waste of time.
I don't regret it.
No, I don't regret it.
I have zero regrets. Which is probably, a way of saying that you would do it again in a weird way, because how could you? I think life is interesting because you can only make the decisions that are in front of you at the time that you're making them, right? So I know for me at least, when we decided to do this silly thing, it made the most sense to me as something to do, because I was running shops for GW, and to me it was just an extension of that, and trying to keep more of the money for myself as opposed to working for a company.
Generated your own
And I just needed a sucker to do it with, basically.
Yeah, I'm a big sucker.
So Jay really is the one that has to reflect on his choices more than I do. Yeah. No, so yeah, that's true. I don't really regret it. Yeah. I think though, just going broad with this particular topic, I'm sure most people would reflect on their own careers in that weird way, where you come to know what you're doing so intimately, the good and the bad, and the bad kind of builds up in your head in ways that you don't like it to. Like it kind of sits there in weird ways, right? Like you said, like the volatility. You tend to unfortunately focus on negative parts of your work and because that's what you know. And then because other things that you've thought about doing in your life, you haven't done those things. You kind of only focus on positive aspects of those things. Oh, it could be like this. It could be like this. And so you don't have that balance with other things. Yeah. So I think that sometimes leads you to think sort of in that way of, maybe I should have done something else, or maybe I could have done something else. But you don't have that like measured approach to it's just a very grass is greener on the other side kind of argument, right? So,
yeah.
But I think in terms of narrowing it down to, because what I really think this person that asked this question wants to know is, was it worthwhile, right? Like, and that's going to be like a really person to person question, because like I think for us it absolutely was.
It's probably the delineating line here is probably like I think for starters, like trying to open a business, I think regardless. It's actually only positive, because you're just going to learn something no matter what. Yeah, you're going to learn how things work, how something or other. Obviously, the divider here is like, were you able to do that, whether you succeeded or failed, without like going bankrupt? And some people are able to do that. They're able to like try a thing, it fails, but they didn't like sink their whole house and whatever you want to call it, livelihood, completely into it to the point where they're destitute. So I think any enterprise like that is absolutely worth it. There's so many things you have to learn on the fly, and like interestingly, if I left today, I have like so many skills that I did not have. I feel like I could transition into like multiple industries and jobs and types of things, even though I don't have like the school credential, but I can be like, look at here's all these real life examples of things that are like, we manage this or project that or whatever. So yeah, it's useful for sure. So yeah, no, I think actually, this is why I figured we would like through just conversation answer our own question. So I'm going to change my answer to yes, definitely. Would do again. Yeah. Yeah,
you get to wear so many hats, right? In a job like this, which is really cool. Like, it's one of the things that attracted me to it. Is I was always scared as a person of doing repetitive things, and being kind of like shoehorned into a job where like I would just be kind of like, nothing. It's like, I thought about teaching, for example, when I was younger, and I did teach some other things like swimming lessons and things like that. I really loved it. But the thing that always daunted me was like, oh, I got to do the same curriculum for 40 years or whatever, and it's going to get kind of boring, and like, what am I going to do about that, right? So one of the great things about this job is every day is very different. You get different people coming in, different challenges, different things coming up each week. There's a lot of like ability for us to create that too. Yeah. Like you have a lot of like agency a lot of the time in terms of like
making stupid YouTube videos.
As I said, I can create as much chaos as I'd like for Jay to absorb or whatever. It's kind of like the business in a nutshell, really. Yeah. How much chaos can I drum up, and then we try to resolve the chaos or whatever in an orderly fashion. Yeah. But
So I guess the next question is would you open the store to 2025? I guess opening this business in 2025.
Before I answer that, I think it's really worth mentioning that I don't know that my answer would be the same if I didn't do it with Jay, like my best friend, basically, right? So there's something like, I see a lot of people that are in our similar situation, but they're by themselves.
Yeah.
And for all of the downsides of basically having a second marriage, which there are many, right? Yes. For example, you share all your money or whatever. First of all,
I shared my money in one marriage, in my home marriage already, so that really wasn't that like.
No. But
that is a tough one when you own a business. Yeah. You're sitting there being like, I want to buy this thing, and you're like, oh. I guess I can't just unilaterally do that or whatever. We have to deal with that. I was definitely guilty of that. I'm just being like, I think I'll just buy this thing. And Chris was like, why'd you do that?
Oh, not like I've never done that.
And I was like, okay, I guess you're right.
We've both been there, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like there's something to I could spend all day filling the bad column or whatever about being like in a partnership or whatever. But I think that's like it's really insincere, because the good column, you could just write one thing and it's like you have somebody. And
sure.
that could mean a million things, right? And the power of like always having somebody to bounce ideas off of, and someone who's in the exact same situation as you, and all that, right? So it's I think it's such a strength.
It is. It does mean that it can take more time to get the ball rolling, I guess. Sort of like if you're like opening the business and you're like, oh, we're making some money, I want to get paid now. It's like, well, slow down.
Whoa,
it's going to take a while before you get to that. We get asked this too. They're like, how long would it take? This is my favorite one. They're like, how long would it take me to just make X dollars? And I'm like, what?
What kind of question is that?
Like, let's go back a few steps. Like, you know, that's not a linear route either. It could take a year. It could take 6 months. It could take 5 years. It could take, it'd take a while. So, and then obviously if you have partners or business, other people, the more you have, the more it's going to get sliced up. So, no, for sure. Also, yes, thank you to Chris for praising me there. I feel the same way. Obviously, in my story, I always tell people that when people would ask me at the beginning, they're like, oh, it's risk or whatever. And I was like, well, Chris never does anything to lose. So, which is a problem in some things, but
it can be a problem.
So I had max confidence that this venture would work. And then day one proved it when a whole bunch of people came in a blizzard.
Yep.
So that's another thing I mentioned to people when they opened the thing. I was like, what are you... Like, are you involved in this community? Do people know who you are, or you think you're just going to open the doors?
Oh yeah,
and
no,
people
for
are going
sure.
to roll in and start buying packs of Magic and Space Marines off you.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. So, Anyway,
so now we can move it into the current era, because I think that's a really good question, because in 2015, 2015 or whatever, a very different time than 2025, 2026, right? So, I feel like opening, you know what though, like I feel like anyone who has been in this industry for a while would tell anyone who is new this, and people would probably have told us the same thing when we were opening. Is like, oh, this is so hard. You're getting into this and whatever, and you probably shouldn't do it. It's not a good time. So I think there's always a degree of that going on.
Yeah. No, I think there's some collection of those variables that basically are the same. It's like, can you scrounge enough money? Do you have the right, whatever sway or communal gravitas or whatever you want to call it to pull people into your store when you open? All these things. It is more competitive than ever, but I think the market is bigger as well. You still have to do, a lot of it is the same. You still do just a ton of research, market research, like what is it looking like in your town and area. But yeah, it's like on one hand you could probably like. It's just everything's magnified. You could probably be successful and do well rather quickly now, but you could also get crushed just as fast because of the volatility is just much bigger, I feel.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you just didn't have in 2015. It's such a we say this a lot about past. It's like simpler time. You were you could get away without having a web store. You could and shipping everything and drop shipping things and discounting everything, and you could Magic sets were just booster boxes and fat packs and that's it. And Pokemon was simpler. Everything was simpler. There was less stuff to track and to be on top of. The board game selection was tighter. Catan was just starting to like explode and all that. Like, I don't know, you could kind of do okay with less, but now people are so accustomed. Things have evolved. Like, again, the way the websites run, even the way a card store is set up with binder and the sorting mechanisms and all the variants of cards and the cost of like everything's like you need way more money now too.
I think that's the biggest.
That's the big one. Like I've told the story before in previous catalog videos that like we probably would need 3 times the money now, easily, to do the same venture. Which is like really daunting.
That's a barrier, right? That's a huge barrier. So I think a lot of people that open businesses have loans. I suppose Jay and I never wanted to be starting out that way, where we would owe, like we weren't sure how much money we're going to make, and we're going to already owe people money. It's never seemed like a recipe for success.
And you have to also add like things like Games Workshop or whatever, basically selling Warhammer to anyone. It's not that. It's basically. I mean, I don't know.
We should have done a video about the dealership.
It reminds me of magic packs at the gas station. Like it's not that far off. They used to have these like trying to make sure that too many stores didn't eat up too much of the pie in an area, and now they're like, if you think you could do it, here you go. We'll sell you the thing. I don't care. So. You can be like happily up and running, and then some conglomerate or whatever consortium or whatever owners can set up and open up a mega store like across the street from you and just kill your whatever.
It can happen tomorrow.
It can happen. So that's why we always preach like you better be offering something more than just putting the box on the wall. Like if all you're doing is drop shipping Warhammer, I'm like, you're gonna feel it. You're always one bad order away where you order too much of something from just getting killed or whatever. So I think sure, I don't know, it would be, that's another loaded question though, whether 2025 or whatever, because again, if you're it's easier for me to like find the holes because I've done it now for a decade or whatever. If I was fresh in, which there obviously are, because people are opening new stores all the time, and I'm always like, no, for obvious reasons, but they're just like, I don't know, I like this, so I want to sell more of it, and so it's probably the same. I don't know if it's, I know I said it was a simpler time, but I guess on the flip side, there are some products you probably can just throw on the wall now, maybe, I don't know.
I mean,
you can get your hands on
we've talked a lot about like the
market,
like we are in an upswing moment, right? So the hobby, miniature hobby has been growing exponentially since the pandemic.
Sure, we're still in the hobby bull market.
We're in the bull market. Cards are in that kind of crazy mode right now still. Pokemon Magic, whatever, things are selling out crazy. So it's one of those things where like if you looked at that, you'd be like, it can be quite easy to sell things and move things right now and generate revenue. Are you making a good living? Well, that's a different question altogether, right? But I think my real core answer has always stayed the same on this thing, which is I think the right people that have the right set of skills, the right experience, whatever, are always going to be set up to do well in this type of industry or this type of business, to start a business, no matter when they open.
Sure.
And I think the same is true of the opposite type of person, someone who hasn't really, invested any time into working in a place like this, doesn't have any like history or background in this industry, hasn't operated their own business before or done something similar. I think those people will struggle a bit more, right? And maybe you have enough money that like you can attrition through the struggle.
Our favorite joke is still that classic. If you have the money to open a hobby store properly,
you're too rich.
Walk away. Just put it in the stocks or whatever. It's the days are gone where you can kind of like limp together of $20,000-$30,000 and just like quietly open a store. Like it's just that's not it. You need over 100K easily, and probably 150 to be honest. And that's like you could be buying a house, you could be investing that for your retirement. Like there's so many more other things, or maybe a different business you could invest in that might actually generate you money faster. than the hobby store thing, you know?
I think just it's kind of funny, like the hobby store, like the music store, the bike shop, the whatever. Like any hobby related business is always going to have those people that, like, you know, I think of like the person who made, like, you know, good money in the tech world, or like someone who has like a really good job, and they've just always wanted to do something for them, something fun.
Yeah.
And you end up getting these like hobby businesses.
Yep.
I don't even mean hobby store. I mean like a hobby business where it's like becomes this like side thing.
Yes.
Because it's just something they always wanted to do for whatever XYZ reason, right? And these things exist everywhere. But we're always going to be dealing with those in this industry, because it's just
if you ever wonder why the giant or the big kind of like what appears to be like awesome place that has always full, and then it like changes hands or sell or closes for no reason that you can think of, it's usually because it's a rich guy who got bored of it, or got frankly bored of not making money on it too. It's a combination of things, and then they were like, okay, forget it. Yeah, those are a lot of the big places is that. Or you have the, like, again, like I think Chris mentioned all the pros and whatever of having like a partnership. Like I think 2 people is like pretty solid for this type of store, because you don't usually need like that many more staff. But once you get, I couldn't even imagine having a 3rd, 4th, or like some of these places that have like,
oh man,
a crazy.
Well, you get crazy stories when there's like a 3rd person. Like, because now you have a 3-person marriage.
You have a throuple. Yeah.
So you might have like some person trying to stab someone else.
Oh man, yeah, it's like, very crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You also, like, because there's 3 now, you have maybe 2 people that are closer, and then the one person's a bit more outcast, and maybe they get ganged up on, or
it's a reality show.
It becomes a reality show,
very
right?
hard.
Like it's. I think that the two people is so perfect, because like each person holds the ultimate power, and
we both have keys to the nukes.
Yeah, exactly, right. And you both have to turn them. There's no getting around it, right? So you just have to accept it. It is what it is. You know. Well, I think we solved it to some degree, which is we basically talked for 20 minutes and there's no. No, I think we got there. I think it was basically, you know, we're both happy with our decision. You know, I don't think I'd looper myself. I don't think I'd shoot. I don't think I'd shoot Bruce Willis with Bruce Willis or whatever.
No. That's good to hear. That's good. Right?
No, I think actually to end on this, I think the part you have to always you can never think about life when you maybe say you regret doing the job you do for a long period of time. You can't take other parts of your life necessarily and keep those, right? Like, so I think about all the relationships and people I've met for the last 20 years in this industry, and how full they've made my life. And I wouldn't want to lose all that. Sure. Quite frankly, right? Like I wouldn't trade, you know, this for another job just you know, because that's part of it too. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So, well, what do you guys think of that Jumbo video? Did you get anything out of it? Would you like to see more videos about us kind of go down memory lane, talking about the business? What particular aspects have we not talked about on the channel that you might like to see? Let us know. If you really like this video, give us a like and a subscribe, and even check out our Patreon, where you can ask us questions like this, and we will hopefully make a video for you. So that's where you get your value on there, which is fair. I don't know. Maybe
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. We asked patrons what they wanted. They're like, just keep doing it.
A lot of them are just like happy with what
I was like,
what we're doing. Okay. So we're like, well, we're making extra videos a week for you, and they're like, yeah, that's cool, I guess. We just keep doing what you're doing, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Thanks,
guys.
Yep.
Take care.
Bye.